The dance of the century. Me and my girlfriend started out as two 15-year-old teenagers. We fell deeply for each other and went on to become best friends and connected in the deepest of ways and brought out parts of each other we didn't even know we had. We had the most amazing relationship and were both convinced this was real love. That was before things turned bad. We both went in the same class consisting of only females except for me and one other guy. Quite understandably, this was hard for her. With her finding out about my fantasies and me checking out our classmates, things turned really ugly. I was still deeply in love with this girl and wanted nothing but her, but couldn't find any convincing ways to show this to her, as stupid as I was. This went on for a year, until I found out ways to show her that she was the one for me and we both finally felt at peace and happy in our relationship. The thing is, all this had hurtled her self-esteem to a degree that she started seeking attention from other men. First, I thought it was a one-time occurrence. When I found out she had been writing and entertaining the liking of another man, no actual cheating occurred though. After this occurrence, even more of these instances went on and she continued doing things of this nature, always telling me that she would stop and this was the last time. As much as I loved her and wanted us to work, I chose to trust her again and again. All this happened until I found out she had done something which hurt me so badly that I ended the relationship. Although, this time I can tell by the way she writes and talks to me that she regrets how she has been so badly, and I know that she means it and would never do anything like it again. The thing is, that if this would have happened half a year ago, I would feel absolutely complete and happy, but after everything she has done, I honestly feel nothing from her. In fact, heartwarming and loving proofs of love. I honestly don't know what to do now, because it feels as though she is too late. But the really heartbreaking part is that I would be euphoric to have her act this way, if she just were earlier. What do I do? Somehow it feels so strange to let her go now that she has actually changed. But then again, I feel hurt by the mere sight of her and have a hard time believing I could ever forgive her and let alone trust her. If I do forgive her, how would I do such a thing, and if I were to not forgive her, how would I get over all this hurt, and should I look for someone new? I am currently feeling very lost and confused, the clock being 2:30 a.m. in my country and my girlfriend continuously showing her new love and loyalty to me via text, while I can do nothing but not reply, since it hurts to do as much as write to her and since I don't want to give her any false hope of us reconciling. I think I still love her and I am sure that I still care for her and wish her all the best in her life. Grateful for all answers for an 18-year-old believer in true love, learning about himself and about relationships the hard way. Initially, I thought that she would be the last person to ever want to cheat, but maybe it is what you least expect of a person that's true. How do I become happy in a relationship then? I fought so much for our relationship, hearing advices that people often blame their partner for whatever is wrong, ignoring their own part. I took this advice to the extreme, so much that I in the end felt like I was the one holding up the relationship. Anyway, she acted this way. Am I just too kind? Do I put in too much energy to my relationship? Or did I just end up with the absolute wrong person? I actually feel that she did me a favor now by doing what she did. I feel a lot more at peace being alone, even though it's hard in its own way. I just hope I don't chicken out and take her back in fear of being alone or something like that. Is it wrong though to think that I can just wait for someone who equally feels like she wants to give me the world like I do for her? I mean, I totally understand your point and I mostly agree, but theoretically, shouldn't I be able to find someone who wants to me just as excessively as I want to love her? Am I just being naive and too romantic? I just got to get everything out of my system. Today, she was waiting for me after work, even though I told her not to, and gave me my favorite roses, chocolate, and a long, heartfelt letter, which she spent a long time writing, in which she apologizes sincerely and insists on never doing the same again. Even told me she puked today of all the anxiety she was feeling, and I know it was sincere. Or I guess it was. What's your thought on this? I have to be honest with all of you, I am feeling really tempted to forgive her and take her back. I think I miss our intimacy, and I really do have tremendous amounts of love and feelings for her, not to mention all our plans for the future. She is making this so hard for me, since she is showing me so much love and regret for ever being that way. She says that it doesn't matter how long it takes or if I even ever can forgive her, but says that she will do everything in her power to save this. I honestly can say that I never seen her cry like this before, so I know it breaks her. Why couldn't she just be insensitive and unloving so this would be easier? Also, please be patient with me. I really love her, so this is really hard for me. I am 18 and that might give some sort of clue as to the amount of relationship experience I do have. Although to say that I don't know what love is based on my age, practically not knowing one thing about me except the small parts of me that I shared in this thread, is narrow-minded. By making that assumption, based on such a trivial and unimportant thing as my age, you sort of prove that you don't know what love is. One insight that I gained through the years, and yes, I have years of experience in love, is that no one can make a general definition of it. Love is a feeling, a lifestyle, both things which are highly personal. No one can say that your love is not real love. Love is an ideology, one in which there is incredible difference in opinion about. If you are open to learn anything from an hormone-driven 18-year-old who can't keep down his erection, let it be this: never define a feeling for someone else. Comments: she has given you a gift. She cheated on you before it could ruin your life. For the rest of your life, you will trust a little less. When you marry and build a family, you won't be as innocent. You will choose someone more carefully. Take her and move on. Did she get physical with another guy? I don't think you ever really said what the extreme hurt was that caused you to back away from her. OP responds: she didn't actually get physical. They danced at a nightclub and she gave him her number and they wrote a couple of times. I mean, as far as I know. This is what she has told me. It could be some other thing which is just hiding around the corner, which she just hasn't told me yet. This is the hardest thing I ever had to do. It really breaks my heart. Hope I can look back in 5 years and think I made the right choice. Now I finally ended it with her, for good. It feels awful, like I am going to die, but I know I would be even worse with her. Comment: she thought you were a doormat to be walked over. She was wrong. Move on happily. Most, not all folks I've asked this question to: would you ever consider ever marrying your first BF, GF? They all think back and yuck. No, never. You learn and grow. Date around and get serious with several ladies. Then you'll understand women better, yourself, and see what it is you look for. I would not even be considering committing until 28 years old or older. But that's me. Thing is, you are both 18, maybe she will mature, maybe not. But for right now, this is who she is. The lesson here is to stop trying, wishing, hoping for different from her. Some people are just not capable of being good long-term partners. She is very young and is just not at that stage yet. Maybe she will never be, who knows. But when they are not, it's just wasting time hoping they will change. Thing is, you are 18, that is way too young to settle down anyway. Your girlfriend probably feels this way. How can you even know who you should end up with when you don't even know who you are yet? If I were you, I would be dating lots of girls so I could get a sense of what kind of girls I like and what qualities I am looking for. There will be plenty of time to have a long-term relationship later. For now, break it off with this girl and go have some fun. OP responds: as you all said, I think we can all agree that I made the right choice in leaving her. Seriously, after 3 years and everything we've been through together, just had to get that out of my system. For now, my main focus is finding myself, education, and creating a life I enjoy on my own. Then, when I feel ready, I will start looking for someone new, but that might take a while. Right now, I feel kind of weak for letting this behavior go on for so long. Always taking her word for it that she would change. How do I get over this? I have to be honest, I wouldn't really be able to deal with the information that I have been jealous at this time in my life. Because the point is, she cheated on me, lied to me, and was disloyal several times, so I made the right choice in leaving her. I mean, I could always do something better myself too, but I feel as though I did my best and I learned my lessons. My main focus will be then to focus on myself and creating a life that I enjoy living on my own. I don't actually think it will be that hard, since I always enjoyed my own company the 15 first years of my life before I met her. I found it helps a ton to play the guitar. I started doing it very actively when she started betraying me, and it actually helped me get through a lot of the hurt. It just feels so good to me. I don't know why, but it would mean a lot to me if you would listen to me play. I don't know, you all have just been so good support to me, and I would just want to play for you, kind of, if that makes sense. I'm pretty convinced on that point that we shouldn't be friends. If I am completely honest with myself, my maybe wanting to be friends with her is partly guilt for leaving her, which I absolutely shouldn't have. I know, and partly just thinking that we would be happier if we stayed friends, and a bit troubled over how I would do it if I were to cut off contact completely. It's absolutely not that I think that I can't find any better, because I am absolutely convinced that I indeed can. I am a good guy and have a lot to offer. Is it all bad staying friends, or can it be healthy? If not, how do I cut off contact? I recently moved to another town to study, work, do things that I like. Never really liked my hometown, in all honesty. Although, she seems to have thoughts of moving here too in about 5 months to do the same things. I don't know what the hell to do. I don't want to live in the same town as her, while still I don't want to move from here, since I've had the dream of moving to this particular town since I was 10. I should just stop keeping in touch with her. How about just making less and less contact with time, and in time just be gone from each other's lives completely? I mean, if I do it cold turkey, she is going to put up a fight, and I don't really feel like I am in a place, emotionally, that I could deal with that. What do you all think? Is cold turkey really the only way? My comment: in the future, you'll know women far better. Your instinct will sharpen. You'll see through the makeup and see who the lady really is. You'll eventually learn what I mean by makeup is not cosmetics. Your approach will be more solid. You will be in control. Confidence will build. Story 2. I have just started the no contact rule with my separated wife. She says that she can't give me what I want and that she has no emotional connection with me anymore, and that can't we just be friends. I have been in a relationship with her for 5 years and married for just over 3 years. It all started to go wrong just after our marriage, as I was trying to sell my house and my ex-wife agreed. I have 2 children from my ex-wife, 10 and 14-year-old girls. My new wife wanted me to sell the home where my ex-wife and my kids were living. Subsequently, we had a buyer, but the buyer pulled out, which really annoyed my new wife so much so that she blamed me so much for this. Also, I do like a drink, whereas my present wife drinks very little, and this really became an issue with her. I went to counseling because she kept accusing me of being an alcoholic. However, the counselor said that I wasn't dependent, as I was able to stay off the drink for a number of weeks. Anyway, to get to the point, my wife went out one night for a friend's birthday, so I had a slip in my newfound sobriety and had few beers. Next morning she found out about this and I stupidly lied to her. She saw through my lying and went down the trash can outside our house and found the empty beer cans. She then flew into a rage and promptly kicked me out, stating that she cannot trust me and lied to me. A month later we had a pre-booked vacation, so we decided to go on that, otherwise we would have lost all our money due to late cancellations clause. So we decided to go and see how things went. She actually said to me, maybe we rekindle the spark in our relationship. Thing is, we had a fabulous time together, had bonding on numerous occasions during the vacation. However, we got back, she has just gone distant on me, so I kept pursuing her, but it just pushed her away. I don't know what to do for the best. I am not drinking anywhere near what I was, and I so much want to rebuild her trust. Any advice, or is it finally over? I don't get drunk, okay, once or twice in the last 2 years, when I drink, and never have any symptoms of the shakes the next morning. I just like the odd couple of beers now and again. However, that was just too much for her. Plus, a lot of it stems from how she so wanted to get this house sold. She kept saying, you promised me that you would have sold that house, and it's all your fault that it hasn't, even though I did get it sold eventually, about 8 months later. I do love my wife dearly and want her back, but I see where you are coming from. Maybe if I can stay no contact, I might decide maybe she wasn't the right person for me. What I cannot reconcile is that if you have been in a relationship for so long, how she can be so cold and distant towards me. Maybe it's her way of protecting her heart. Anyway, I will continue the no contact. Being friends with her is just not an option for me. It would hurt too much, especially if she has found someone else. I suppose I just got to self-heal, however it's so hard. My girls are about 100 miles away in a different county. I see them every fortnight for the weekend, whereby I stay at my parents' house as they live near to them. I used to bring my girls back to the marital home, however my wife was never interested in them. She has a daughter who has just gone to university and a son who is 15, so it would be like the Brady Bunch, but my wife told me once, I tolerate your kids. That's all, which upset me at the time. I don't want another wife, girlfriend, and I think you are right. Giving up the drink would be heaven sent to her, but I'm just worried that she will find something else to beat me over the head with. My wife didn't have a happy childhood. Her dad, who is still alive, refuses to see her. She hasn't seen him since she was about 7. Her mother is very strict and wouldn't allow her the freedom most kids enjoy. And to top it all, she was raped when she was in her early 20s by an ex-boyfriend, who happened to be drunk at the time. So, I can see why alcohol is a big problem for her. I just wish that she would seek professional help, as she does have issues. She also has arthritis. She is only 49 and that causes her to be moody, but it doesn't stop her going out horse riding with her buddies. Another couple of things, she met up with her ex-boyfriend, only for coffee before we were married. I don't think there was anything in it, but she said that it didn't matter as we weren't married then. Also, when we initially separated, I found out that she was going out for dog walks and coffee with a male friend of ours. His girlfriend at the time left him, but I saw texts on her phone. I wasn't snooping, but it was just on the side of the breakfast bar from him, and although pretty innocent-looking texts, I was upset and accused her of having an emotional affair. I'm sure she didn't do anything but things like this, and in the previous paragraph were things she was, let's just say, very economic with the truth about with me. One other thing, before she dropped the bombshell, she changed the status of our relationship on Facebook from married to just friends. When I quizzed her about this, she said she was looking at some pictures her girlfriend Ha put up, didn't like my picture and tried to delete it and somehow messed up. I know I have lied to her in the past about my drinking, but I always thought she was this Snow White character. However, it just goes to show that she has been lying to me. Also, just wanted to add, we separated a week before her birthday, first week in June. I bought her a lovely necklace from Tiffany, which she liked, but I didn't go out with her on her actual birthday. She went with her kids and ex-husband. I know that sounds weird, but she has this unique platonic thing with her ex, for the kids' sake. However, her kids are pretty much grown up now, 18 and 15. I know, pretty strange. She lives in her house. I was staying at my parents'. I ended up getting a flat nearer to where I work and where she lives. Like I said in my previous posts, we already had a vacation booked in July, which we went on, and had a fantastic time, lots of loving and bonding. However, since coming back from holiday, the bonding stopped. Although she asked me to come over to hers whenever I wanted to. We would cuddle up in bed and hold hands when going out to restaurants, dog walks. But the last week and a half she has just said it's all over. It was like she was giving me mixed messages. She finally told me it's not working and wants a formal separation, her reasons being that she would never be able to trust me again, and that it is also that she cannot give me what I want, a loving, physical relationship. I'm so confused. I will do anything to save this marriage. I don't need to drink. If I do that, how can I prove it to her? She will say I have heard all this before. Promise to take a lie detector test. She already wants me to do that. The thing is, she has checked out of our marriage now. I have no contact with her. Okay, that's due to me going no contact to want her to miss me as well as heal myself from the pain of losing her. She divorced her first husband as he was having affairs. Mine ended as my ex-wife was also having an affair. We met on a dating website. Do you think going no contact is a good thing? Should I try to reconcile a meeting with my wife and try one last time? Maybe suggest that I go teetotal and let her rebuild the trust that way, although she is so far gone now. I don't think that is viable anymore. I will get control my drinking, for both ourselves' sake. Yes, the ex-husband popping over is as much to do with he has nothing better to do in his life. When he did have a girlfriend recently, he was hardly around at all. In fact, we never saw him. It was only when his girlfriend dumped him that he started coming around again. He even started crying in our kitchen once about his breakup, and my wife was all caring and sympathetic. Made me feel sick inside really that she cared so much for him. Although I was sympathetic too, it's never nice to see someone down. But now I'm the one who is trying to pick up the pieces of my shattered life. Well, we bought a new bed together and we took a loan out for the wedding. I will continue to pay her for the loan, but as she is sleeping in this new bed, I don't really want to pay my half for that. After all, I don't want to pay for a bed that she has, and also it would be really uncomfortable if a new guy moved in and was sleeping with her in this bed, yet I was still paying for. I shouldn't have looked, but she has deleted her Facebook account, totally. Should I read anything into this, apart from the fact that she may be not wanting to know what she is up to? I believe she married me so that we could get a house together, even though she has a house already. Also that I would look after her as she has arthritis. Although it's not that bad as she goes horse riding every weekend and most days when she is on school holidays. She is a teacher. I think that she thought that I would be able to care for her on my income if she had to give up work, although I earned about £45k at that time. She was very adamant that I needed to sell my house that I had with my ex-wife where my kids lived. She didn't care about my kids' welfare. To her it was all about that, so much so that when we did get a buyer for my house, she was all happy when we initially got married. It was only when we came back from honeymoon, the buyer pulled out and she was very displeased. That's an understatement. So much so that she said to me, "You promised the house would be sold, you promised. How the hell can I influence a stranger to buy my house then pull out at the last minute?" I think that was the catalyst to when things started to go wrong. She was always saying, "Oh, you always do what your ex-wife wants you to do," regarding my child visitations with my ex-wife, which hurt me too. As if I was putting my ex-wife above her needs. I wasn't. I was putting my kids first, so that was it in a nutshell. I would see my kids every other weekend. She didn't do anything with my kids, saying you should be spending quality time with them on your own, and then she would go off and do her own thing, like go horse riding with her girlfriends. I even used to take her son out to go swimming with my kids, but she wouldn't come to a movie, go bowling, ice skating. Stuff I did with my kids and her son. In the end, I stopped bringing my kids around and just stayed at my parents' with them. I did like her kids initially, would involve myself with them, would do stuff with the younger one, and I would ferry the older one around like a taxi service. Anyway, there is a missing piece to this story, which may change some people's minds. Not that I intentionally omitted, but I want to give a concise account. Well, after we got married and when we came back from Cuba, lovely place to go incidentally, my STBXW was so pissed off with me about the house not being sold, I sort of was a bit ambivalent towards her. Not in a nasty way, but I was seeing her true side. She wanted me to sell my house, where my kids lived. My ex-wife didn't earn a lot of money, but I was concerned about where my children were going to live. Anyway, relented and sold the house only for the buyer to pull out at the last minute. Hence no sale at this time. Needless to say, STBXW was pissed off big time. See, she wanted to sell her house, me put money into the sale of my house so we could buy a better house together, even though her house is worth about $400,000. It's big enough with a nice garden. Well, anyway, we went to a New Year's Eve dinner party. I got very, very drunk and started acting silly, just being the court jester really. Anyway, after coming back from the party, her eldest daughter, about 16 at the time, had had a massive party. Well, the place was a mess. It had been raining, and as they were out in the garden, there was mud all over the carpets, up the stairs, and bottles, cans, puke, and spilt drink everywhere. Well, I went ballistic and was verbally quite abusive, again only verbally, to my STBXW's daughter and her boyfriend. I then went upstairs to bed. Next day my wife told me to leave the house, and as I was working in a hospital at the time, ended up getting a room in the nurse's home. I spent about 3 to 4 months there, before my STBXW reconciled with me, and after a lot of apologizing, let me back into her house, on the proviso that I went for counseling, 12 weeks, which I did, see earlier posts. Anyway, I have never been like that again, and that was nearly 3 years ago. Just thought I'd share that with you so you get a better perspective. Cue the abuse, which I am bound to get now. Just a quick update. Haven't seen my separated wife now for 3 weeks. In that time she texted me just 2 times to ask whether I was okay and when I was going to pick up the rest of my stuff, like motorbike and fishing gear, and another text to tell me I have mail and whether I wanted her to send that to me, even though we already discussed if I got mail, that she should just forward it to me. Well, I'm supposed to be going over to hers this Saturday to get my stuff. Thing is, I know that I have to be all smiles and that I am getting on with my life, but that's going to be really hard. Don't want to screw it up. But the thing is, I have a gut feeling that she is possible seeing someone. Have no direct proof, just a gut instinct. Any ideas how I should proceed with meeting her and getting my stuff? I would really want to ask her if she is seeing someone, but she will probably deny it. Again, I have no proof, but she deleted her relationship status on Facebook, and when I questioned her about this, she then proceeded to delete her account. Any good advice would be very welcome. Just one more thing to add. The reason why I suspect something going on is that we separated briefly for about a month, then got back together to go on holiday. It was only when I came back from holiday that I noticed that she had been texting a male friend, who was her girlfriend's partner, until they split up. I confronted her about this, although there were only about 10 texts on her phone. All seemed fairly innocent, but she then admitted to going out for dog walks, coffee with him whilst we were briefly separated. I said to her, this sounds like an E, but she was adamant that it was just friendly as we both know him, but she kept this from me. I do believe that she must have texted him more than 10 times, but she said her phone deletes messages that are 30 days old. I told her to stop this and she said no, he is a friend that we both know. Besides her words, he is 10 years older than me. He is not even in my league. She is 49 by the way, I am 48. Smells like BS to me. Just another quick update. Text my STBX yesterday evening. I needed her help as I need to drive over to hers to get my motorbike and fishing gear, and asked her if she would drive my car with all the gear and back to mine and I would drop her straight back. Round trip of about 40 minutes max. She said no, she was too busy, told me to get public transport. I said that we could be friends and I was fine with this breakup. I just needed this favor. No dice. Also, I had 2 important letters from the hospital that came to her house. The hospital has my address as hers, which it was up until the split. Anyway, she previously texted me last Friday, told me the letters had arrived. She offered to mail them to my new address. I said yes please, thanks. Anyhow, whilst texting her last night, I told her that I hadn't received the letters. She then said, oh, I haven't sent them as I have been too busy with work. What the hell, I wouldn't have minded if they were bank statements. But these letters are important, like what to do with my health, so I'm going over there via public transport to pick up my bike and letters. We'll have to get the rest of my gear one night next week. Her idea. What do you good people think? My mate reckons she is a narcissist, and my father told me she is showing her true colors and is a nasty piece of work. I'm done with her now. I'm a bit suspicious as my gut tells me there possibly is an OM in the picture. We don't have children together, just wondered why she is doing a 180 on me now. I was no saint in our 3-year marriage, but she had checked out on me about 18 months ago, giving me the I love you but not in love with you speech. A year later, my divorce was finalized about 6 weeks ago, although since the ink has dried on my decree absolute, my wife has been getting in contact with me. The day before I got the papers in the mail, she texted me after saying that it was finalized. I texted her back saying okay. She then replied, what, just okay? Since then, she has contacted me asking for help with her work assignments, and a couple of weeks ago texted me out of the blue say, haven't heard from you in a while. Are you okay? Are you happy? I replied yes, I'm good thanks. I then proceeded to ask her out for a meal as it was her birthday coming up. Anyway, we had a nice meal and she said that she misses our marriage, but because of her trust issues with me, she couldn't agree with us getting back together. Plus, she has a boyfriend she has been seeing for about 3 months. We have arranged to meet next week for an evening dog walk and coffee, but she is confusing me. Bit of background for you, have been with her for 5 years, married for 3.5 years. Her trust issue was around me drinking, not excessively, but to her it was. Plus, when she filed for divorce around Sept 2020, she was entering her menopause. Now I love my ex-wife to bits and never wanted to divorce. However, I want her back, but she has this new guy. I asked her if there was a chance as I have changed, but she just wants to be friends at the moment and take it slowly and see where it leads us. I have been dating. I am seeing someone else now for about a month, but my ex-wife is beautiful. I suppose I just want to know what her motives are for getting back in touch with me, even though she has a new guy now. Yes, she is cake eating. I'm actually going away with my new girlfriend, so she might be jealous. Thing is, I do want to hang out with her at some point. I just don't want to come across as needy. If she sets a date, of course, I will want to go. Do you think I should play it cool? I'm so worried she will start to get more involved with her new boyfriend. I want to be in the picture at least, but not act as if I need her. My comment, this woman put you through the pain of divorce, is with someone else, and you still want to be with her. I would take a long, hard look at yourself and find out what is making you codependent. Codependency is not healthy. Learn how to get your own needs met instead of chasing an unhealthy partner to get them met.